Hello, world. Y'all know what time it is. It is Virgo verdict time. I am one of your hosts, Tracy Ricks. I got my co host, Sherrod, in the building. And we got another co host today, y'all. We got Will B in the house. Chopping it up with us today. We got some exciting things to talk about.
Yes, ma'am.
But before we get into that, please like, share, and subscribe. If you are ever interested in being on the Virgo verdict, hit us up. Um, the link to hit us up is in the comments somewhere. So we're about to get it started, y'all. So, Sharad, what is
Yes,
on
ma'am.
your mind today?
What's on my mind? Someone asked me a question.
Uh oh.
Which is worse? To be a woman with multiple kids that have multiple fathers, or a man with multiple kids that have different mothers?
I say it's no difference, man, because either the woman having multiple men means she was getting in there with multiple men and had multiple babies. The same thing goes for the man. He was doing his thing and got different baby mamas out there. You know what I'm saying? So the men involved in the women's life, that's the question. As they have these multiple children by multiple men, are the men in their life doing their part? That's the biggest question. And vice versa for the men who have multiple women. Are they doing their part being that man? That's where the whole question comes in at. And I can't really elaborate on that right now because it's like that to me they both like in the same, but the biggest question is what are the men doing in those situations?
Um, so I got some opinions.
Come on.
I think either way, I don't think one is worse or better than the other one.
Mm-hmm.
I think both situations are grossly irresponsible
True.
situations. Now, one pregnancy that is unplanned, I get that. Shit happens, right? But you you having multiple children with no intention of creating a family unit, no intention of showing by example, modeling behavior of what family is, of what partnership is, of what the body being the temple is, in both aspects is detrimental to the community in my opinion. Not only are we disrespecting our bodies, I'm talking about men and women, and I'm not slut shaming or anything like that, because hey, get it in. But it's irresponsible to me, number one, because it's unsafe. If you have multiple children, that means that you've been out here fucking raw with multiple people. And 9 times out of 10, if you've been out here fucking raw with multiple people, those people are out here fucking raw with multiple people too. So that to me is dangerous. So I really want us to stop that shit. And also, there are enough children in the world that are growing up in deplorable conditions, that are in single parent households, that are in the system. Do we really need to contribute to that anymore?
Mm-hmm.
I think a shift needs to be made. First of all, women need to understand their bodies. I don't know the statistics, but I'm assuming that these women that are having multiple babies are in a certain age range. Let's say between 18 and 30, 32 maybe. That means to me, either you're willfully just like, fuck it, let's have sex and me have a baby, or you have no idea how your body operates. You don't have, because, like, for instance,
I got, I
on
got,
those
I want to
very,
add something to you real quick.
okay, I'm sorry.
It
I'm
says
going dead off.
the first national study of the prevalence of multiple partner fertility shows that 28% of all U.S. women with two or more with two or more children by more than one man.
You
So
said 28%.
28%.
Hmm.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Well,
Now,
less than half.
in those shows like Jerry Springer and this, the little Steve Wilkos show where they, Maury, where they do the paternity test, and then the lady says that it's one man's child, and then the test come back and it's not his child, and then they do another test and it's not even his. So that's letting me know that there's a culture of women out here that don't understand how their bodies work, because you have an ovulation period. It's
Yes.
roughly about 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
So one of two things is happening. Either during your ovulation period that you know about, the 4 days, you're having sex with a whole bunch of niggas and don't give a fuck. Or, which this is the part that I think is most likely, they have no idea when they're ovulating.
Exactly.
They're getting it in, and then they're getting pregnant. And then they're taking a guess, because they have multiple partners, they're taking a guess as to who might be the dad.
Yeah.
And I
And
think that's sad.
let me jump in because a lot of women don't know, younger women don't know that a few days before their period and a few days after their period is when they actually the horniest and the most possible to get pregnant. And they don't even understand that or realize that. They wonder why they running around feeling a certain way because your body's saying, "Hey, it's time to
It's
put
time.
something
It's
up
time
in
to
me."
it's
You
time
know
to
what I'm saying?
procreate. That's your
So
body
you
letting you know
cleaning
it's time to
yourself, and then
procreate.
that time after that, it's like, let's get it. And they
Yeah.
wondering why they feeling a certain way, but they, like you say, they don't know their body. And
And
see,
so,
me as a young man growing up, I used to pay attention to things like that with
mm,
women.
mm-hmm.
Like they used to call me, "Man, you about to come on? What you think you slick?" So they hit me up before and hit me up after, and I started putting that shit together. Most women do that.
And it's, to me, there's an underlying and deeper issue. When they took home economics, sex ed, and all of those things out of the schools, because, so, okay, let me just go back. First of all, school is a supplement to the education that you are already getting at home. School is not meant to be the primary source of your educational whatever. Um, it is the responsibility of the parent to educate, guide, nurture, and support. So that means that parents are not educating, guiding, nurturing, and supporting. So now you're sending your kids off to school. They've taken sex ed. They've taken all of this shit out of the school. So now, where are the girls and the boys getting this information from?
The
Because
internet,
most of them don't have the wherewithal to self educate. So where they're not getting educated, they are hanging out
Rappers.
with their homeboys and homegirls, getting
mm-hmm.
horrible advice,
Yep.
and then they're finding themselves pregnant, and then pregnant again, and then pregnant again, and pregnant again. There's no intervention. There's no intervention. There's no educating after the first baby. So then that's how there ends up being a whole tribe of kids and no parental partnership.
Right.
Right.
So I don't think that there's one more detrimental than the other to the community. I think it's both a gross mishandling of self and a gross mishandling of, or a gross misunderstanding of what community could be. And I'm talking about Black folks.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm all for procreation. I'm all for building the tribe, but I'm also for doing it as a family unit. Because then, when you're doing it as a family unit, you're doing it as a healthy unit, then healthy things come out of that. When you're doing it in the traditional sense of we just making babies, nobody's being educated, nobody's leveling up, you just contributing to a problem that we already have, which is kids who are not receiving what they really need from parents, from society, from everybody. That's my take. That's my view.
Okay.
So, Shirai, what you think?
I mean, being that I do have multiple children with multiple women, It was definitely a lack of maturity, being irresponsible. Um, I shouldn't have been drinking because they took advantage of me wholeheartedly. So yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah, I
So if
think
you were different,
I
if
think
things were different when you
if
were
things were
making
different,
your babies, how many kids would you have now?
I would have the same amount with one woman.
Okay.
I love kids. I love kids. I love
Hmm.
kids, right? But I was being irresponsible. I
Hmm.
was out here, you know, I had a saying. I'm gonna wake up with a 40, go to bed with a bitch in your and a fifth in your bitch, right?
You had this like that was something you actually said out your mouth.
Man, what was money? Look, we raised up in the 80s,
Hmm.
right? Well, raised born in the 70s, raised in the 80s, right?
Hmm.
The 90s is our adult years.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Okay, I rebelled against my pops and my parents, but my pops
Mainly.
specifically.
Hmm.
I was taught what not to do, what to do, what to expect. I was taught all those things. So I can't say that I didn't learn anything. I just said, fuck what you're talking about. I'm smarter than you. You only went to sixth grade in school and all this other shit. You can't tell me nothing, right?
Hmm.
Learn. Then my brother, he went to the military, right? 2 weeks after high school. So basically, it was me feeling my way through the streets by myself, right? So hell, man, I just took advantage of the things that I had, right? I'm a hustler. I was athletic. Women love dudes that can speak. So guess what? You mix that with alcohol, you got a bunch of kids. You know what I'm saying? You got a bunch of kids. And I was just out here, man, just rolling the dice. You get some
And
dick,
see,
you get some dick, you get some dick, and I was just out there, man. So,
that's. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
well, to make a long story short, which is worse? They're both, we all agree they're both bad and irresponsible. But I can literally say when I've dealt with women that had multiple fathers, it was a horrible experience because for one, when you step through, it's always gonna be that one father that you're gonna have to, what I'm saying, step
Problem
to
with.
and let your nuts hang on, right?
Hmm.
And in my situation, I had some drama, but I can take care of my drama. Ain't no woman coming over here whooping my ass and doing nothing to me, right? And ain't no
Hmm.
woman that I'm dealing with gonna be able to whoop no woman ass that I'm with.
Right.
These women dealing with these knuckleheads, dudes just getting out of prison. You see what I'm saying? So I guess it all depends on the quality of man or woman you was dealing with that will make the situation worse either way. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I just happen to be dealing with, for the most part, civilized women. But I've dealt with women that had these barbaric, you know, individuals, for the lack of better words,
Yeah.
and things kind of, can go either way. So,
And what I find interesting is when I was younger in my childbearing years, I had a certain way that I decided that I was going to live my life. I made a promise to myself that I wasn't going to have a kid unless I was married. Now, this is coming from somebody who didn't necessarily have to have no kids. Like, I was never one of those women that was like, I gotta have a kid. I'm a mother. Um, I like not having kids. And so, but I was never opposed to it, is what I'm saying. I was in a situation, I got pregnant when I was 19. Knucklehead. He was out here slanging shit. He was thugged out and he was ignorant. He was willfully ignorant, okay? And so, even though I was ignorant to a degree, I still had presence of mind enough to know I don't, first of all, I'm a fool. I don't want to bring a kid into my foolishness. I knew at the time I didn't have anything positive to contribute to a kid's life. And I also was keenly aware that the guy by whom I had gotten pregnant was not father material. So I made a decision to abort the baby because of that. Because I did not want to bring a kid, and like, we had drugs around us all the time. And I just did not want to bring a kid into that. And plus, the way I had grown up, my whole family history, I was like, a baby doesn't deserve that. And so I wonder how many women or even guys, even, and I'm not saying that the choice that I made is the band-aid for all women who find themselves unintentionally pregnant, but it worked for me because I already knew I don't want to set this kid up for failure. Um, and so I made a choice. I made a real grown-up decision, and I have zero regrets. No regrets about that whatsoever, because I knew that that baby would have had a hard time in life,
Okay.
and the kid probably would have hated me because I ain't know shit, and I was foolish, and I was still operating from the perspectives that my parents had laid before me, and their parenting skills were questionable. So I was like, I'm not doing that to a fucking kid. I couldn't do it.
Okay.
And the way
So
I grew up is I'm the oldest of nine, three outside of my
Hey, come close to the mic, Will.
relationship. I'm the oldest of nine, three outside of my mother's relationship. So my dad was one of those multiple fathers with different women. You understand what I'm saying? But the only difference that I saw in my dad was he tried to be around his children. With me being the oldest, I knew all my siblings. But like Rod said, you have certain individuals. Why is this man jumper coming around here? He ain't been
Right.
around all this time. Why he need to know his brothers and stuff like that? Because my dad was like, listen, man, life is gonna get hard. If he has any questions, any concerns, I need for this person or this child to know that hey, I'm gonna be in Detroit with my six that I have with the one woman, but I still want to let you guys know what's going on in my life. So from that, as a child, I learned that one, I love my dad, but I'm not gonna be like my dad and have multiple children out here with women. And I made a vow to myself: the only child that I have is only with the woman that I marry, and I have two. I haven't had any hiccups, any scares, anything like that. And I've done some things in my life, but thank God that there was none that came up and somebody knocked on the door and said, "Hey, this one is yours." You feel me? So I totally get the whole scenario, and I was raised up in it, so I already know, like, let's do better. And
yes,
Right.
that's
let's
what I
do
did.
better.
I
Right.
did better. So I see the whole synopsis of all three of us is, yeah, we made mistakes, but the goal was to be better than what we saw and what we thought we needed to do. That makes sense.
Absolutely. It does. It
Yeah,
makes all the sense. It
yeah.
makes all the sense.
So
So, y'all, what
the
y'all think?
the Virgo
Put
verdict
it
is
in the comments.
yeah.
If what's the situation, if what do you think about men and women having multiple children out of wedlock? So, you have an opposing verdict. Please hit us up, let us know, put it in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe. If you have a topic that you would like us to discuss, please hit us up at virgoverdict@gmail.com. If you would ever like to join us on the show, again, virgoverdict@gmail.com. So until next time, y'all, peace.
Peace.